The journey always begins somewhere. It can start from weakness, from aspiration, and even conquest. It can lead to amazing places with opportunities that define you. And that journey can bring you full circle, rekindle past dreams, and surround you with amazing people with incredible stories of inspiration. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Inspirational 30. I'm your host, Jim Gardiner. Thank you for joining us today. This is my little journey where we get to sit down with some amazing people from all walks of life. And we're really here because we want to help you and ourselves just be better from day to day. So today's show is something that's really kind of unique. And I'm really excited to kind of share this with you all at home today. Imagine being able to overcome some obstacles, to unlock some deep hidden emotional scars, maybe offer some clarity in your life, in your business life, in your personal life. Well, my guest today does that, and she does it with the aid of two horses. She's an equine guidance strategist, and it's my pleasure to welcome to the show Margarita Romano.
Thank you, Jim, for having me. I'm so grateful.
Thanks for being here. So excited? We finally made it.
I did, yeah. I did, I'm here.
Good, good. So I'm sure our viewers at home, and I was too at the beginning when we first met, what is an equine guidance strategist? What is that?
Basically, we came up with that title for me to represent the fact that I partner with horses to basically coach people, business owners in our case, on moving forward towards their success. So working on the things that are actually blocking them or stopping them from moving forward and getting past that so that they can reach the goals that they're wanting to achieve.
So you're partnering with horses to let clients, let people kind of maybe look inside themselves, in a sense, to unblock, like I said in the intro, unblock things.
Yeah,
right?
Horses provide feedback, basically, and without ego. So it's providing information to our clients that they are able to receive when it comes from horses, and I can go into that later.
Yeah,
but
okay.
It's a really effective way to help people see what's going on for them.
Sure, good. And now obviously we are going to spend a good chunk of time on that, but let's just kind of take a few steps back. How did your journey lead you to horses? Because I know it wasn't always there, right? So you were 20 years kind of in a different arena, right?
Yes, I was a corporate copywriter. So I did a lot of copywriting for business owners and corporations. At the time, it was brochures and things like that. And then it moved into online stuff, websites and that kind of stuff. And then it moved into ghostwriting. So I would ghostwrite books for business experts. They would come to me with, a plethora of videos and articles and everything, like methodologies they've created, and they'd want it in a book. So I would...
And when you say ghostwriter, are you actually, is it written under the premise that they wrote it? How does that work as a ghostwriter? Yeah?
Yes. So I for 20 years, I've been listening to people and asking them the questions that I need to better understand them so that I can write for them. And so the book, in the ghostwriting piece anyway, the books would end up looking like they've written the book. Yeah. Their name is on it. I'm nowhere to be seen. That's why it's ghostwriting.
No respect.
No
respect.
Well, there's respect, but there's no acknowledgement, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's really what it is.
And you touched on something, and I think this is a good segue for you. I know with some of my guests in the past, and myself included, we spend time giving energy to others. We spend time writing for other people with instead of potentially or instead of addressing stuff in our own closet, in other words, right? And right. So, and you were the same kind of, where you went through a life change yourself to lead you here now.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
basically, in a nutshell, I was no longer fulfilled by my work. And I decided that I wanted to write something where my name was on it. And when I made that decision, I went to a retreat for writers in Bali and wrote the first draft of my book. But that whole process, like what I didn't realize when I was writing it, to me it was like, okay, now I get to take on a project and write a book that's about what I think. But that's huge. Like, I've always written about what other people think. So to go through this process of now putting, like, I'm writing what I think, this is what's going to be out there and read and judged, and like this is about me now, and it's and I'd never really had the spotlight directly on me in that sense. So that whole process really made me question, what am I passionate about and what do I want in life? And so this retreat in Bali ended with an event where we were at the top of a volcano, and we were in a circle, and we were asked to just step in and declare what we were going to basically do when we got home. And throughout the whole time that this circle was being introduced, in my head I was thinking, you got to step in the circle, you got to step in the circle, but I wasn't moving, and my friend next to me just shoved me, and I stumbled into the middle of the circle, and I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And I've always, my entire life, I've always had a passion for horses, but I never grew up with them. You know, did a few little rides here and there throughout my life. And then at that point in Bali, for maybe, I don't know, 3-4 years, I'd been taking riding lessons. So I had reintroduced horses into my life.
Okay.
And so when I'm in the middle of this circle, what comes out of me is, I want to find a way to work with horses and hold retreats with my partner, Isabel, and help business owners get out of their heads and back into their hearts so that we can help them succeed with their brands. And that's what came out. Boom.
Boom.
Yep.
So that was the catalyst. That was your first pre-paved notion of what was going to transpire
Yes.
from then until here you are now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you had this awe-defining moment at the top of a volcano, which in itself is pretty epic.
Yeah,
Right?
like the setting was
Right.
spectacular.
So you get home, and then like, how did you find? Like, how do you go through the yellow pages? Like, what do you do to follow this pursuit?
I trusted is what I did. So a lot of trust involved. I came home, and like we came home, it was Christmas. So, you know, you get wrapped up into Christmas, but as soon as January hit, like I had thrown out this big intention into the world, right? And January came, and within the next month, 2 women who, I thought it was funny because they're both redheads, and that's probably the only 2 redheads I know in my life. They, from different walks of life, they both said to me, have you met this woman? And they said, have you met Hillary? Like she does this work, she's near you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I haven't. And then the second one says the same thing. And so I go on her website, and she had just launched a Facebook group. So I thought I'll join the Facebook group. Anyway, through all of that, I ended up booking a session with her because I saw that she did this equine facilitated learning. And I thought, how interesting. She's working with horses, but not in a way I'd ever heard of before.
Sure.
And it's really to help people. She was working on leadership and things like that. So I booked myself a session with her, and it was mind-blowing. I showed up, and we had a little discussion at the beginning, and then as soon as she walked me into the space where her herd was, she had, I believe, 7 horses at the time, they all showed up for me, which to me was like, oh, great, right? I didn't know what to expect, and she was like, oh, this never happens, you know, like they don't all show up. Yeah. Anyway, and she got the message from that she was to be my mentor and train me. So, and that's how it just all fell like boom, boom.
Well, but you know, we've talked about it, you know, prior to the show and other guests too, and it's when you make that passionate decision, but have clarity, but you're open to it, and you're not putting so much weight on it happening, those doors open, that magic happens, right?
Well, and also when you're following what you're designed to be, it falls into place. It really does. It has from that moment.
Well, and again, too, I mean, I think, well, you'll elaborate on this, but another example of that is you said, you prepave, you get a place in the noose, and then you say, okay, I need some horses. Yes. How do I get horses? And then, boom, right?
Here we go. 1, 2.
1, 2. So the universe gives you 2 horses.
Yep.
Right?
They were both gifted to me by beautiful women that knew that that the horses, well, they needed to be rehomed, and they felt that I was the person that they needed to be with. And I had fully explained what I did, what I was going to do with the retreats with Isabel and with the business owners and all that. And I felt like these 2 horses were meant for this work. And they are.
And they are.
Yeah.
And they are. Okay, so let's talk about the horses. So here we are, as an equine guidance strategist. Why horses? So first off, why can't I go talk to a dolphin? Or you could, I suppose. But I mean, like, what, so what is it about horses that make it so amazing and so,
Well, for one, I'm passionate about them as a being. I think they're amazing in many ways. I love that horses have probably the longest history of partnering with man, of having a relationship with man. Like, they go to war. They willingly, like, if horses didn't want to do something, they wouldn't do it. They're 1,200, 1,500 pound beasts.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So they willingly partner with us to do a variety of things, right? So that, to me, says a lot about who they are.
That's a great point, yeah.
And also the fact, and not many people know this, but horses are prey animals, so they are sought after, right, by predators. So they're constantly reading their environment and the energy in their environment to know if they're in danger for their survival. And so that makes them excellent to work with.
So they have a heightened sense of awareness of their surroundings.
Correct.
And the energy in their surroundings. Hence, if you're standing there with someone,
yeah,
see.
they're constantly reading. Whether you're an animal or a person, they're constantly reading what's going on for you, to know if we're a threat to them, right? Because if we're a threat, they're going to run away. Like,
Sure.
That's what they do. They're flight animals. But if they're not a threat, if we're not a threat, they're not going to run away because they need to conserve their energy. So they only run when they feel they need to, and that's how they survive. And what makes them great for this kind of work is that they're constantly reading us, and they're reading us at a level that we may or may not be aware of. And it makes them able to really see what's going on for us on the inside. And they act like mirrors. So they will reflect what's going on for us. And my mentor recently mentioned that and I thought this was brilliant, like, we don't receive our own impact the way we can't receive our own impact. Everyone else does.
Sure.
And so horses receive our impact but are able to reflect it back to us. And so that provides us with information about ourselves. And they don't have egos, they don't have an ulterior motive, they're just reflecting. They're like a true mirror. So, and my job in this is to interpret, because I have studied their behavior and know what their behavior means. My job is to relay that to the client that's in the space with me and let them know what I'm seeing, and then they get to sit with that and see how it resonates.
So you read their behavior.
Yes.
That's basically what transpires during an experience,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Their mannerisms, their movements, their gestures, all those things, right? You read that. Now, what about though? So what about the person that's having the experience?
Yes.
You mentioned before, these are big animals,
Yes.
right? So when you're standing there next to this big animal, how does that affect the person that's having the experience?
Well, just the fact that you're in a space with these large animals, it requires you to be present. you're aware, oh, I mean, and I explain too, where is it safe to stand, where is it not, just for safety measures.
Sure.
And so you're aware of where you are, just not to get stepped on or hurt, or not that they do it on purpose, but they are animals, right? So because we're present in those moments, we're also actually more in tune with what's going on for us. And so that whole combination it works really well to help people understand themselves better and see where they need to shift.
Well, I guess it's the same thing when we do meditation as well, right? It's about being present, correct, right? And yes. So that stillness does offer some clarity, does offer some accessibility inward.
Yes, and actually
right?
On that note, horses actually, their hearts beat about 3 times slower than ours. And so, and whether we realize that or not, when we're with them, we feel that, and it automatically starts to ground us, a little bit like meditation. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we actually have, I want to go to a clip, because so obviously we're going to get into in a moment after this what you do at the retreat center. Mm-hmm. But this is a clip of a man and a woman post equine experience, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So viewers at home, watch this, and we'll be back in a moment.
I just, reiterate everything that she said about you holding a safe place. I didn't know what the work with the horses was going to be about. I grew up on a farm. I've been around horses before, but never like this. I never looked at a horse this way before. I never knew horses could do what these horses did in terms of changing my thinking, shifting my heart, giving me clarity on what I needed to do, and to discover that from a horse is, how do you even explain that to somebody? That's like crazy talk to anybody in a city, for example, that's never been around a horse. It's like, oh, they're pretty to look at, they're fun to ride, but horses can, in fact, reveal things in you that you have never been able to deal with before. They can uncover things that are just difficult to express and talk about, but it's so clear when they speak. And I'm not talking about Ed the talking horse, Mr. Ed the talking horse. I'm talking about they speak to you with their body language and how they react around you, how they position themselves. And I was blown away. I mean, it was so profound. I will never forget the experience, and I thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me.
Well, I think it's safe to say that that was somewhat life-defining for them.
It was a beautiful session.
Yeah. He used the word clarity, which I think is a pivotal thing. I know at Leap Zone, pivotal shifts are a huge thing. I mean, obviously something like that is a pivotal shift for them. Maybe can you give us a little rundown of what was transpiring there? Like what was the condensed little version of journey of what they were doing?
Mm-hmm. They were embarking on a new business together, and in this clip, Alan knew he had big shifts to make in order to fully move forward in this new business, but he never in the past could figure out how to go about it, if he should move forward in such a way, and so the horses were actually beautiful in the session with him because they really worked together to help him understand what was going on for him and where he needed to move forward in order to fully dive into this new business. Right. So, and the more he understood what was going on for him and the more he got clarity on, okay, yes, I need to do this, and oh, this is why I'm doing this. And every time he got into a deeper level of understanding, the horses had started out, they weren't facing the same direction. Then, after his first level of understanding, a literal 180, boom, they were in the same direction. And then the more I coached him and pursued further what we were talking about, boom, 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 and then it ended, boom. They were side by side.
Alignment.
Yeah, complete alignment, and it blew all of us away. We were like, I could feel he just felt like he got it at the core, and he did, because he went on to then make the moves he needed to do, and he's totally loving life right now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So great, that's a great segue, to get into what you do at Leap Zone Strategies with the horses for personal and small business owners. So for our viewers at home, I was going to say Maggie. Okay. Margarita, Maggie, is partners with Isabelle Mercier for Leap Zone Strategies. And if you remember episode 3 of season 1, I sat down with Isabelle here, and we talked about her amazing TED Talk, The Power of Zero Tolerance. You should check that out. So you have pre-paved your way to the island. Yes. You have a 5-acre property in the Noose. So kind of give us a little bit, touch on how a brand strategist works with an equine facilitator to promote growth. How does that work?
So first of all, Isabelle and I have, for years, we've always complemented each other on how we work together. All of this started, she's a designer, I'm a writer, and so that's how we got into the branding business. And it was really about how do we evolve this so that we're both using or living our purpose. And Isabelle's purpose is definitely to help business owners succeed, and so is mine, but through a different medium. And that's why I wanted to really integrate the horses. So how we've done that at Trailblazers is we hold mostly right now private business retreats. So one business at a time that comes, but we are looking into doing group retreats as well. But so we'll help businesses. Isabelle will work with them on the business and brand front. So we actually have a training room, and she helps them with their brand foundation, with systems and processes and roles and whatever needs to be uncovered. She's in there helping them online programs, working out whatever needs to be worked out. And how I integrate into that is I will, whether it's just the business owner or partners or the owner and their key employees, like we have different scenarios, I will work with each one with the horses and really hone in on, because they can have the best plan in the world, but if they can't get past what stops them every time they go to do something,
that's right,
that plan's not going to help them. So, and the horses and I help these people actually move past their fears, their obstacles, their limiting beliefs, the things that are stopping them from success.
Amazing, amazing. We are coming to a close, but I think it is, you just touched on it too, and no one's going to be successful in life, in whatever medium of life they do, if they don't deal with the blockage inside, right? And those limiting beliefs, I think, are paramount to someone's growth. You need to assess, look inside, assess, and then there's different ways to go about it, right? And so, I wish we could talk more on how it works, but we do gotta wrap it up. I do want to finish with something different here in season 2, which is 5 questions. That you don't know what they are.
Okay, hit me.
Hit me. What has life taught you so far?
Jeez. Okay. What has life taught me so far? To be patient.
Okay.
To trust that what happens is supposed to happen, and that even if you don't see it right away, it does become clear eventually. And to just go for what you want. You'll find a way.
Find a way.
Yeah.
What's the one word that describes you best?
I'm getting peace.
Peace. What's the one thing you wish your parents had taught you or told you?
Oh. Not to be afraid to put myself out there.
Most impactful decision of your life?
Meeting Isabelle.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Last question. Years from now, friends, loved ones, family members see a picture of you. How do you want them to think of you in that picture?
I want them to remember that I always try to come from a place of love, and that everyone has good in them, and it's up to us to help each other get it out there.
Well done. We should end the show on that note. That was great. Everyone has love in them. Everyone has love in them. Thank you for taking the time out to sit with me and talk about what you do. It's amazing. Thank you to the viewers at home. I think this show is a true insight, and Margarita's journey is just yet another testament to making choices. And the universe sets in motion things, and if we believe, we can achieve. If you dream, put action to the vision. It's just it can be a magical ride for all of us. And so just go through your day with some clarity, some peace of mind, and whether it's horses, whether it's friends, loved ones, whatever it takes to be able to look inside, whatever that mirror may be. If it's horses, for example, right? Whatever that mirror may be, don't be afraid to look in it, because that's the true catalyst for growth. Thanks for joining. Please check out leapzonestrategies.com for information on Margarita and Isabel. You can check out Can Ordinary Inspire on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And we'll see you next time on the Inspirational 30. Thank you.